Build and fly your own airplane. Complete missions to earn money, upgrade your plane, and discover new locations in an open world. So this is Aviassembly, I think that's how you say it anyway. It's a game in early access where you have an open world for which to design, build, and fly your own aircraft. So what do? Well, you start off at a base in what looks to be just like a generic kind of biome, trees, lakes, sea, rivers, all of that sort of stuff. You can design your first airplane with a limited amount of funds and a limited amount of researched components. So typically you're going to start with something a bit smaller and less powerful. And from the base airport, you can fly to a couple of known locations, maybe just one at the beginning actually. And then you're essentially just transporting goods around to various different airports for the relevant needs of whatever they're asking for. So I do quite like this game, in fact. It's unique. I don't think I've ever played anything like this. It's got lots of good things about it, but equally there's a couple of bad things. So let's just start off with the good things, in my view anyway. Well, the game is incredibly relaxing. The background music is gentle and fairly subtle. The way the game looks is fairly cartoony. But it looks nice, and it just feels like there's no rush to do very much. You don't feel like you have to panic at any particular point. You can do what you want. So it is a very cozy feel to this game. When you're building your aircraft, although at the beginning there's very little to choose from in the way you build it, but there is a sandbox mode on here, so you can literally use as much as you like in terms of everything being unlocked, unlimited funds, and there's absolutely tons of components that you can include in your planes, different engines, different wings. You've got different cockpits, you can shape and stretch your fuselage. There's loads you can do, different types of wheels. The wheels can retract and extend. There's plenty of things that you can do. You can make weird and wonderful things that are a bit more traditional. You'll see in the video as I'm talking, there's all sorts of different designs that I come up with. I'm not particularly a creative person or engineer minded or whatever, but I've given it a go, and I'm sure someone with maybe a bit more nous on those fronts would probably come up with something far more interesting and probably better at flying. But it's good fun. But there's so much in there in terms of components and flexibility of what you can do with good snap-on processors and mirroring. So for wings, you don't have to add each wing on separately, although I didn't realise that at the beginning. You can use mirror to add on wings, so you don't have to do it twice. The map itself is fairly big from what I can tell. It starts off under the fog of war, so to speak, but there are different biomes. There's snow, there's desert, there's ocean, and a few more other ones as well there. But as you move around, you can see more and more airports, more and more things. So there's things like lumber mills and hospitals, wind farms, all of which require different things. So you land at an airport, it says, we require X, Y, and Z. And you will need to go and find X, Y, and Z from another airport, bring it back to that airport, and so on and so on. The game just continues like that. Of course, unless you're playing sandbox, which is just fly around like a lunatic, essentially. But the map itself is fully functionable, and there's loads to see, plenty to unlock. Things that aren't so good. Well, the camera angles annoy me a little bit. Now, as far as I can tell, there's only one way to spin the camera, and that's using the right mouse button and drag, and you can sort of spin around the aircraft. But as soon as you let go, it pivots back to behind the aircraft, and I can't seem to find any other way of controlling cameras. It would just be good sometimes to change the camera angle permanently rather than have it go back to how it was. Game feels a bit repetitive, so once you've done the little missions a few times, it is literally just pick up, move to another airport, drop off, and just keep moving throughout. There doesn't seem to be anything else to it, and that's fine up to a point, because you perhaps want something a bit more from it. Yes, you've got the ongoing challenge of these items become heavier, which means you have to adapt your aircraft to be able to carry heavier things. That's fine. But the procedure of it all is very much the same, and that for me becomes repetitive. And with that, it just doesn't feel particularly deep at the moment. Now, this game is only about £8 or £9 at the moment, and is in early access. So I have to pick up the bad things to be fair, show the balance of the good and the bad. But what I would say, have a look at the roadmap for this if you get a chance, because what they want to introduce into this is insane. They want to include more and more campaigns. They want to include ways to put decals on your aircraft rather than just paint, because you can paint them. That's fine. Bigger airports, more missions, passengers, better destruction physics, improved flight physics, challenge mode, helicopters, seaplanes, firefighting. There's tons of things. I literally can't read them all. But if you do want to have a look at what they're intending to do in terms of the roadmap, there's some really good things here. So I will be watching this game like a hawk because I've enjoyed my time with it, but I want more now. So as soon as they start putting in these improvements, I'll be straight back on it to experience those as well. It's a good game. Have a look at it, see what you think. If you've enjoyed this video, actually I don't often say this, but if you have enjoyed this video, leave me a comment because it is kind of nice to interact. And also, if you like it. If you want to see more of my videos, subscribe as well. Just be good to have you on board.